Are we on? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights, cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
Comments can be savage at times, but hey, that is social media, that's digital media. It's a whole world that hasn't still been figured out completely. It will take us time to be able to put measures around the ways things people say things and all of that, but until then it's still a free range for a lot of people. US elections is happening today. Well, I'm sure you can keep up on socials as well. We'll try and also put up stuff on our socials to keep you updated on there and the things happening. Who would win, Trump or Kamala? Kamala.
Yo.
Kamala isn't a place.
Hey, no,
Hey,
Kamala.
No, Kamala is a name.
It's the name of somebody.
It's a man's name.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kamala Harris.
Take your time.
Yes, it's a name that isn't too. You shouldn't
Friendly.
say it. You shouldn't be say it when it comes to
If
a
you
part
go to
of
St.
time.
Peter's, St. Rose's,
Yes. Yeah, if you went to some schools,
No, just
mention
those
would be a
three schools.
problem.
Any other school, you have a problem.
You have a problem mentioned. No problem. We'll take it like as it is. But we'll move on. Anyway, listen, President is telling us this morning to brush our teeth morning and evening with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter toothpaste. Why? Because it is fortified with pro-fluoride and micro-calcium ingredients, and this would help protect your teeth and keep it 10 times stronger. It comes in various pack sizes, such as 175 gram, 120, 65, and the 12-gram sachet, so you can always get what you can afford at any time. So do well to brush your teeth morning and evening with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter to give your teeth the protection that it needs. I'm reminding you this morning that Betway is the official betting partner of Arsenal, and with this great news, you're about to get way more with the new fan exclusive page. Why? Because if you place any bet on Arsenal, you will stand a chance of winning exciting monthly prizes from a range of Arsenal jerseys to memorabilia and more. Not only that, you'll also stand a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime play on the pitch experience inside the Emirates Stadium. And this competition is ongoing till the 31st of January 2025. It's exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway gets way more. And also, quick reminder that Infinix is giving you the all-new Infinix 50i. It's a brand new device. You're going to love it. Why? Because of the following reasons. Now, it has a 48-month fluency durability available for you, 48 megapixel crystal clear camera, 300% dual speaker, ultra volume. It's got its water and oil hand touch and a fast charge battery system. It's available in all Infinix accredited shops nationwide. Get your Infinix Hot 50i today and step up your game. This morning we are talking about teenage pregnancy and abortions here in Ghana specifically, and we are honored to have not only Dr. Chris but also midwife Ajo join us here on the show. Good morning, lady and gentlemen. Good morning, teenage and pregnancy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, midwife Ajo, welcome to our station, and it's good to have you here. You're looking bright and beautiful as always. Today's conversation, I know, is going to be quite sensitive. We'll try and keep it as minimal as possible. And let me also say, for listeners and for viewers, emotional intelligence at this point in time is advised, and discretion is advised. So as you listen, how you take this information, as you listen, what the parts that you might not be too comfortable for you as well, feel free to block your ears. But it's good to know and understand the importance of what is happening with a lot of young girls, and also on the flip side, the trauma that some irresponsible boys go through with regards to this conversation. I hope I have set the grounds first. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Well, let's start off with understanding. We can put the two words together and understand what teenage pregnancy is. But on abortion, what is an abortion? The best person to speak on would be doctor or midwife. Okay, midwife. Since Doc is always here with us, let's say ladies first. What is an abortion?
Okay, so abortions.
Sorry, I have to let you put the microphone in front of you that way. Yes.
Yes, please. So abortions basically is termination of pregnancy. Termination of pregnancy.
Okay.
So we will say that there are two main types of abortions. We would say the first type is induced abortions, and another type we call spontaneous, which most of the times we call miscarriage. That's a spontaneous abortion.
Okay.
So the induced one is the one that someone has done something to terminate the pregnancy herself or by someone else, some under an influence. Maybe you are told, do this, do that. And we have safe and unsafe abortions too. So as the conversations go on, I believe we would dive more into all of that. So basically, termination of pregnancy is abortion.
It's abortion.
Yes,
at any stage, is it an abortion?
Okay, so we have early abortion and we have late termination of pregnancy.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's break it down now. So you've mentioned two types. Let's go into these two types.
Okay.
Induced, you said, at any point in time. What is done, and you've mentioned safe and unsafe. So I assume that there's safe and unsafe induced and safe and unsafe, what's that one? Spontaneous?
So, spontaneous.
Sorry, they can't be spontaneous.
We can't have a safe and unsafe of that.
It is possible unless you break a meaning down to it. But then let's start off with the safe and unsafe
induced. Okay, so it makes so safe and unsafe. So let me start with safe. Safe abortions are abortions that are done by a professional at a recognized facility. So basically, the opposite is unsafe. So unsafe abortions are abortions that are done at maybe home or at places that are not.
What if a medical practitioner does it at home?
Wrong.
Is it a safe or unsafe?
It's unsafe because home is like we are using two places to classify, to put it at a place where we can say it's safe or not safe. So the person doing it and the place it is being done is what we are putting to, like that's what we are using to say it's safe or it's not safe.
Okay.
So if you are doing it home, it's not safe.
Or a place that you don't have direct access to proper medical care.
Recognized.
Yes, please.
The word is recognized.
Recognized.
That word too is there.
Yes.
Because
it's a recognized registered facility.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and our ministries and our those who make sure that all this is not done, they set the prerequisite that first the person must be trained in the practice of doing the abortion and registered with license to be able to do it. Then the facility in which you are doing it or wherever you are doing, if it's your home and it's registered and it's licensed, that's fine. Because some people have their health facilities in their home attached to their houses, so it's possible. Or it's in a hospital. So it can be a hospital, but it's not recognized by Ministry of Health. It's not part. You can't do it there.
Yeah, okay.
So it can be private, it can be public in the setting. So if you take one out, it becomes unsafe. The two must stand.
Okay.
For it to, like, it's like you driving and then seat belt. If the seat belt is out, it's unsafe. If you are driving at top speed, it's unsafe. You need to drive at the requisite speed and wearing your seat belt makes it safe.
So what about like when you're in trotro?
That's definitely unsafe.
That's a Balthazar. That's a Balthazar conversation. So still now talking, I asked a question earlier on.
Yeah.
An induced abortion at 8 months. Is it possible or is it not possible? I just want to understand in terms of time. At what point in time can you say you are doing an abortion, and at what point in time is it not possible? Before we come into how it is done.
Okay, so with 8 months, baby is fully matured. We can't have, so maybe that one would have to induce your pregnancy so that you would deliver the baby. However, they can't kill the baby. Maybe you have done something to. So I've encountered a lot of people who have tried putting sticks inside. People who have drunk lots of concoctions just to kill the baby.
At 8 months.
Good.
People have done lots of
hold on.
things
If
out
you,
of desperation.
okay,
and
if you
lots of
get my
things.
question,
Yes, please.
my question is: at what point in time do you call a termination an abortion?
Okay.
And when do you call it an induced pregnancy, or I don't know which other term will we use to define it?
So there are parameters for you to induce abortion, and there are parameters for you to terminate a pregnancy.
Okay.
That's what we need to understand. Because the first step is, number one, for us to terminate a pregnancy, the first one you should know is maybe it's due to rape. The second one is due to the fact incest. The third one is we call when the person carrying the child, which is the mother of the child, is stupid. For lack of a better word, I'm using stupid in the sense that somebody who is mad and walking the streets. That person, if the person has a pregnancy, it's difficult because there's no family, next of kin to deal with it. So we terminate. The fourth one is when the pregnancy causes a risk, immediate risk to the mother.
To the carrier, yeah.
Right? And the fifth one, which people bend it a bit, is when it causes a mental issue to the mother.
Okay.
Psychologically, the person is unbalanced to have a child.
Okay. But in all of these cases as well, would it matter the time? Okay, so for those who maybe are psychologically challenged, for it being incest and all of the lists that you've run through, would it be time bound? As in, can you do that at 8 months or at almost 9 months? Or should you do that at 2 months or maybe right when you find out, or a month? Because I think that waiting a whole 8 months when it's incest and you know that's incest and you've waited the whole time till the baby is,
Developed,
matured and developed, that's murder, isn't it?
So abortions are a bit easier when it's done within the first 3 months.
The first trimester.
Like that is the first trimester. But by the time you are in the second trimester, you would have to deliver the baby. Means it's we'll start induction for you, like a procedure that we do for pregnant women who most at times have maybe they've exceeded their expected date. Okay, so that's the procedure we'll take you through if you come to the facility. But if it's early pregnancy, it's a bit easier because fetus is not grown, it's not too big. The procedure can take it can be a bit faster. Okay, so the more the maturity, the more difficult it is to terminate the pregnancy.
All right, so hold on right there. Now let me take us back to the processes of pregnancy itself, not the intimacy, but let's start the journey from. Because that's what a lot of teenagers go through, from the early signs and symptoms of pregnancy, and then when they reach the point where we mentioned the point 5, where they try to bend the rules a little bit, which the laws a little bit, which states that I am not mentally ready to manage and handle or be a mother and all those things, and then they go into termination. And so let's start from those early signs to when the person is declared pregnant, and then the person is going through the termination. What are the types of terminations? Because we know there are so many stories. You mentioned some had pills and and all concoctions. I've had Guinness milk and so many things. Yeah. So we just want to run us through.
So I'll give you a timeline
because boys don't get pregnant.
We'll do a timeline for you.
Okay.
So in the first week after coitus, which is sexual, whatever it is, the first week is fertilization week. Week 1, fertilization. The second week is implantation. The third week is embryo development, which is the week 3 to 4. Right? Then we got to the point where in the 6th week, the heartbeat is visible. If you do an ultrasound, you will hear the heartbeat of the fetus.
Okay.
Now, I'm not using the word baby because when it's in vitro, it's fetus. When it comes out, it's a baby.
Oh,
let's set that parameter right there.
Okay.
So for us, I'm speaking, I'll be using the word fetus because it has not been delivered yet.
Okay.
Right. Moving on. So
then when it becomes stubborn, then you say child.
So major organs will start forming in the 7th to 8th week.
Okay.
So the limbs, the fingers and toes, they will develop in the 9th to 10th week. Right. In the 9th to 10th week, we are going beyond we are still in the 3rd trimester, I think. Yes. Then in your 11th to 12th week, you have your brain and your nervous system being developed. Now, we go to the 2nd trimester. Sensory organs, muscles, skeletal system is being developed. That's where if you want to do an abortion, it becomes difficult and dangerous. Because in the first instance, the first trimester is tissue. Much of it is tissue and blood, so it's easy to aspirate and pull it out.
How the world would have been saved if Cyril was taken off around that time.
Because in the second
cure cancer, don't worry.
In the second trimester, because your brain and your bones and basically the solid stuff are being built, it makes it more difficult to do a procedure like that. So those who end up doing unsafe abortion, like taking medications at home, in that second trimester, it becomes very dangerous in the sense that you retain a lot of it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You get where I'm going with. That's why I give you the parameters how the development is happening.
The full fetus doesn't come out.
Doesn't come out. You have a lot of it
There'll be
retaining.
Yeah.
retained
So you
products.
have blood coming, because in the first week, if you had done it, you have a lot of blood coming out and then coming clots and all that, because it's a tissue. The fetus is not really developed. There's no bone structure in there, right? But in the second, you have bones, and it's basically a foundation. Iron rods and other things are coming in. It's becoming more stronger than it was before.
Iron rods.
Yeah.
What do you call the guy who sell iron rods for that billboard? No, the billboard with D Kumasi everywhere.
Kilfori.
Right. So I'm using that analogy in the sense that, so when you are getting to a third trimester, then that's when we actually induce the pregnancy.
Okay.
We let you deliver.
Okay.
If it's complicated, then we do a surgical procedure to remove it.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So Doc, hold it right there. So let me come back to you. So what is the correct procedure for a termination of an early pregnancy within a time when iron rods haven't been formed?
The correct procedure is
Yes.
come to the hospital.
Obviously, yes. That's the first step, yes.
Make your intentions known to your care provider. Then we don't judge people. They've trained people, as doctor has said, on safe abortions. We have safe abortion protocols. So depending on the maturity, they would give you either medications, or they would have to, most people, sincerely, this is what I'm saying, I've not had anyone walk outrightly to the hospital to say, I want
That's
to do.
my next question,
They start
actually.
something at home before coming.
Oh.
So they come bleeding. They're already bleeding before they come. So you just have to, most of the times we take them to have a minor procedure for them, like we do a vacuum aspiration to take the retained products out for them. And we monitor them. So
So you see what the problem is?
Yeah.
You see where she mentioned something that I realized. Remember I mentioned the parameter where we want to save the mother's life, so we do the procedure to terminate and then save the mother's life. That's what they are using against us. That part there, that section right there. So they induce it at home, knowing very well that if you come with bleeding to a hospital, I have
There's
no
no way they
choice.
can't be
My
helped.
colleagues have no choice.
Yeah.
None of us have no choice than to help you. But they are forgetting one thing. Our job is not to judge you. Our job is to save life. It's to make you move on.
But do you think it is also because of stigmatization and all of that from the midwives to the... No, because what will be the reason why somebody will not find confidence enough to walk to a medical facility to confidently say that I want to terminate a pregnancy?
It's hearsay. People keep saying these things about us and our colleagues, the midwives and nurses, that people are rude. But is it all of us? Are you saying that
fair
because maybe you heard one person say something, then it means that all of us are the same? No. As you said, we are ethics. We are bound by ethics.
Okay.
To
Are there-
provide a certain service to you. You walk in, right? There are parameters, you said. You walk in, you're a minor. We expect somebody, your caregiver, to come along with you. Somebody to make that decision.
Oh, Honda,
And we-
sem no one.
So we explain.
Okay, sem no one, fan, no one.
So we explain what is about to happen. We explain what the risks are. We explain what we expected, and so we do a pre-abortion care, during the abortion care, and post-abortion care.
Okay, so Doc,
it's a whole thing.
I'm sorry. So that's where the problem is. So in this statement you pass, if the person is a minor, a person must come, or under 18 must come with somebody.
Yes.
Can somebody who is a minor walk in and receive care such without the consent of anybody?
Can I share a story, an
Yeah.
experience I had?
Yes.
recently? So
If no names
I
mentioned.
work I'm not comfortable to. Okay, so I work at Kulebu currently, and I had this lady. She's not a minor. She's above 20 years. I went for night duty one of the days. She came with her mother. She was bleeding. She didn't want her mother to know she was terminating a pregnancy, and apparently her mother even thought she was a virgin. So she came bleeding. The mother was worried that my daughter has been bleeding for long. We did. We finally we took her urine sample, did pregnancy test, and it was positive. And her mother was like, "No, I don't believe this." So it was late. So they had to go and take a scan at another place. Came back with the result, and she was pregnant. She was terminating the pregnancy, and the woman was hurt. These stories, like these things, are real. It's not only minors. It's not only the young people. There are old people that are in their 20s because of the stigma associated with terminating pregnancies. People don't want to give birth out of wedlock. People want to finish school, and they have lots of reasons why they don't want to continue with the pregnancy, or they don't want to keep the pregnancy. So they just can't help themselves, and they don't have anyone to even advise them, give them good advice that, okay, do it like this, do it like that. I have had people call me. One lady called and she was like, midwife, I want to terminate pregnancy. And I'm like, okay, so go and do this, do that, do that. Oh, but she said she's done it several times. Actually, she watched one of my videos on will my past pregnancy affect my my past abortion affect my pregnancy.
Okay.
And she called and she was like, oh, midwife, I watched your video. I've terminated pregnancies before and I still get pregnant. So, and I'm like, yes, that was what I said in the video anyway. But then she's like, she's pregnant again, but she wants to travel. So she wants to go and terminate. I said, well, if that's what you want, I can't stop you.
Okay.
You know, so there are people like us that will not judge or stigmatize you if you
Are there instances where you advise people, and this is to both Doc and then Dr. Chris and then midwife
Dr. Chris will tell you not to do this.
Are there instances where you advise that the people shouldn't terminate the pregnancy?
So should I give an instance?
I have advised someone. So her story is even on my Facebook page. She was pregnant with twins. She didn't even know it was twins. She reached out, midwife, I don't want to. She's a young lady. She doesn't want to get pregnant. The guy is a Nigerian guy. She's like, I'm not sure I'm safe with him. And I'm like, let's do a scan and see. We did a scan and it was twins. And she's like, I'm feeling so bad. I would go and terminate these people. And I'm like, then let's keep it. I'll support you. And I supported her by she has 2 boys. They are 2 years now.
Wow.
She sends me videos like beautiful. They are so identical.
Wow.
And currently she's pregnant again. Yeah. So basically, when I get the opportunity, I might say you shouldn't, especially if your reason is not strong enough.
Okay.
I don't just encourage people.
So I have instances where what led to the instance that led to the pregnancy was not advisable. It was a mess. But I had this strong inkling to ask the person further about I'll ask you questions about your clinical state, you the woman, your period, how does it look like, your bleeding. So I want to understand if your body itself can withstand pregnancy or withstand some of these procedures. And I realized that she couldn't because she was highly anemic. So it was a difficult decision to make. So I had to come in, go with her to go and meet her parents, to explain what is happening and explain the risks. The tests we've done, show them that if we do this is what's going to happen. Because she had gone further beyond the first trimester. But they being of a certain religious, they felt the shame and all that will come to the family and all that. That's where they were coming from, right? And I made a statement to the person who was I told the dad that the process that led to the pregnancy, yes, it's wrong. Against the religion and everything, it's wrong. But the child itself is not a problem.
Yeah, the child.
So why do we put the blame and somebody who is innocent? By God's grace, she will deliver in December. Whilst I was speaking to her, that same week I got a second case where it's 2 people who are involved in the whole process. 3 people actually, 2 men and a lady. She's pregnant. She can't tell who it is.
Yay.
Her family has a history of infertility.
Who has been in that situation.
Her family has a history of infertility. The sister is married, hasn't had a kid. Others are married, they don't have kids. She's pregnant.
Charlie.
So I'm looking at this window and I'm telling her that we might
a rock and a hard
place.
So.
And I'm telling her that, and she keeps saying, I don't have a job. There are a lot, as you said, there are a lot of reasons why people do these things. I don't have a job. How do I take care of it? So I had to actually bring a support system in, build a support system around the person. And the first thing I always do is to approach the people involved and ask them, this is the situation. What's your view on this? And most males, unfortunately, go for the latter, terminate. And I try explaining them around it, and they'll say, still, just terminate. Some even go further, if you don't call me. It's over between us and all that. And that lady gave birth. The kid is 1 year old. And there's a change in her life. because right now she has a responsibility and it's made her different. Because she used to be all over the place.
Some girl is watching and saying that this is the wrong guy.
Yes, we've had stories of people who kept it went well.
Yeah,
we have people.
Is it easy to convince people to keep?
No.
It's not easy. It's one of the
not
most
easy.
difficult things to do
Very
because
difficult.
the question is financial. In our part of the world, the whole process, forget the shame and everything. I feel like if people have the finances, they won't care what the world thinks.
Okay, to stay away, to help people understand some of the myths, the wrong practices around termination, the home things they do. What are some of the cases, some of the instances that you've heard and things people have done, so people understand that these things are wrong? You understand?
You won't think about
Yeah.
the first one. The first one is glass.
Glass.
Crushed glass.
So
Where you chew the glass.
Just drank it, the whole thing.
Why do they
Then
think
connect-
swallowing
you
things
then
go
connect-
to-
People think
Anything.
So it's going to cut the
Stop
baby
it, no,
off.
Basically. Basically, that's the ideology.
The glass now go and sit in your inside.
And so we had a person coming in with a perforated abdomen because the whole place was damaged.
Oh, Charlie. Oh, Charlie.
But the baby is fine.
The baby's fine because it's not connected.
the baby is like,
Because womb and
The baby
intestine,
is like-
right?
Yes, they are so apart. They have no relationship with each other.
it's sad. It's sad.
Then you have detergents.
Detergents.
Yeah, Parazone. We have people mix Parazone with certain Dettol and other things.
Huh?
Yes, trying to
Any harsh chemical.
Any harsh chemical. They are trying to create this unfavorable environment,
Toxic.
right?
Oh.
They are trying to create a toxic environment for the child. But as I said also, it's not connected.
But
okay,
with
Then we have the wood and then
Let's
hard
get a bit
objects
more.
going through the vagina
Put it
orifice in there,
yeah.
trying to reach the child and wiggle it around and try to
Charlie.
destroy everything over there.
but with the ones that they ingest, right? Is there a way that it actually creates an unfavorable?
Yes, in the sense that it's
environment?
bloodstream. The child is dealing with the mother's system.
Yeah.
Everything is being filtered by the mother's kidneys and everything is being fed to it. So whatever you think that is toxic in your blood could affect the pregnancy.
But the mother can also die.
Very good.
That's why they die. That's why
That's why a lot of them
people
die. That's why out of unsafe abortion.
Like a lot of people die.
The statistics is that 54%
That's the
of
same thing I
pregnancies
wanted
in
to
Ghana here are unwanted.
Unintended.
Unintended
They
pregnancies,
don't plan.
54%. Out of the 54%, 27.5% of them end up with unsafe abortion.
Okay,
So from these statistics, nobody really wants children.
Basically, in Ghana here, most people don't want children.
People need.
People really need.
So you see, that's the spectrum.
You see-
That's the spectrum we are on.
We have talked about abortion, but the man drops some statistics that make my heart cut. You give us the numbers again, Doc.
So-
No, here are the numbers, my brother.
Take it to another place. I don't want you to take it there.
No, but it's crazy.
54% are
it's-
unwanted.
It's crazy if that.
If you could project it, our producer could project it. I have the
Hey,
numbers.
was
I
it-
think the ninth slide, the general
Yeah.
result.
we
Okay.
get
So,
to-
Kosi, let's get the 9th slide if
Yeah.
we can put it up on the screen. So,
You
whilst
see,
he's working
and
on
the
that,
sad part of all of this is some people need
People need it.
like the
Yeah.
children or the babies and
Yes.
all of that, right?
Sorry, so
Once
let's
you know
share
the
more.
get to know they want.
let's share more of
It's just sad.
the wrong practices. Just so people have heard it. Because I said I had the Guinness one.
Guinness and
Guinness and milk.
Para.
Para. So
with-
that's your
There's a
numbers.
lot of para in some.
So we did the survey. About half of the respondents, 48 had undergone an abortion more than once, with majority, 59% of them having undergone abortion before their 20th birthday and their first trimester of pregnancy, which is 90%. Most people understand that in the first trimester, you don't get it done, you are in trouble.
Okay, so now that we've heard some of these wrong practices, and clearly it means that you have to go to the
That's
medical
why that's why we
facility.
are here. That's why Team Risk advocating that push should come.
Yes. What happens when they come to the hospital? Can we rub off a bit of fear from those who think that they are going to be punctured with earth moving machines?
Like caterpillars and will crash them.
Because it's also fear of what are they going to do to me? Then I'd rather stay in my home and then ask my friend what she did or what her friend did, or and all of those things.
So
I know we can share details.
that's why she's pausing. She's trying to see how best to go about it.
Yeah.
Without. So let me try.
No, I'm just asking whether it's medication based or is surgical based.
So we have both.
Okay.
It depends on the stage of the pregnancy, the age of the pregnancy, and all that. That's the first parameter.
Okay.
Right.
I just talk for this small.
Yeah. Please, if you are listening to us and you are going through something like that, if you're a guy and for some reason you've impregnated a lady, don't go getting the medications for the lady, because our laws,
Yeah,
if
from-
she
from
passes
pharmacy
on,
shop.
it's on you.
Yes.
They should know this. If in part of our law, I was reading this thing about law, right? That if you are the one who causes this, let's say you're the one who provided medication, blah, and the lady lose her life, it's on you. You'll be jailed for it. So the government has been so good to set up these facilities for you to walk in and have it done in safe and controlled by a licensed practitioner. And it's not like we just walk in and then we start doing, say, okay, we do this. No, we walk, we counsel, we explain. We tell you what to expect in this period, what you should see. If you see this, come to, and we give you times for review. You're supposed to come back for review after a certain period. Because after a certain, even if you do an abortion, you'll still be carrying some of the hormones that were preparing for pregnancy. So your breast is still big, you're still sensitive. You some even lactate at that period. And you, if we test you,
Good, I can't greet you.
if we test somebody who has undergone abortion for pregnancy, it will still be positive. Though you've done it.
It takes time for
It takes time for it to
pregnancy
come.
hormones
How long
to
does it
the
take?
body. For about 6 weeks or by latest by 3 months, the pregnancy hormones should have left
The body.
And even with that, we
takes
still
time.
come with you doing
It takes
ultrasound. You
time.
do ultrasound to make sure that everything that is we
It's
went
not
in there to
going
get
in
is
just
everything's clear.
again.
Because if you retain something and it starts to decompose, it will
That's a
destroy
problem.
your whole womb.
Not the whole place.
And we've had instances of it.
Yes.
So
We've had-
with that, they have to take out the womb.
Yes, sometimes you have to go in there and remove the whole womb.
I've had a case. She was deceived by a non-professional person. This is a young lady that has her uterus perforated now, and they had she can't have a baby again. And you know the way there's a part of, I don't want to mention the tribe. There's a part of the people in Accra here that really they celebrate people who have babies. They do. They celebrate people. I don't.
You
some
don't
people to
mention.
come at me.
It's fine. We know
Some people
it.
were coming at me this morning. Oh, but so this lady is from that kind of place, and her mother was crying because she said she went to a certain old woman in their community in Accra here, and they placed some things in her vagina, trying to get into the uterus
Hey,
too.
Charlie.
And the place, her uterus is perforated now. So, just go to the safe places. There are facilities that are known for abortions. I know of Mary Stopes. Apart from Mary Stopes, okay, so I've worked in some private hospitals too that people used to come. You can go to any place. You just need to save some money so that you can go because it's expensive.
Oh,
not too
is it?
expensive, but yes, it's a bit
Out of pocket,
money,
yeah. Money-wise,
financially
yeah.
intensive. Not too much, but just save some money and do the right thing.
So you are going to save the money that you don't have to take care of the baby to do the abortion.
Hey, it's not too much. It's not too much. You have to pay for the services that are rendered to you anyway, so
It's not free.
it's not free.
So
It takes time to earn the money. By then, the child would have been class 4.
Yeah, because you want to terminate the pregnancy.
guys, I told you that the world would have been.
I have finally, Kwame Bra, I finally saved the money.
No, because
Unless
you don't
you
have
buy
money.
guns.
That's why you want to. That's why you want to avoid.
Is it why the whole support system works? We being able to, for example, right, in my house, right, the law was simple. The sex education act was simple. My dad and my parents have nothing against you dating. They don't have no issue with you doing all that. But they tell you that this is a parameter. You need to go to school, you need to do this, and they tell you all that. But the sex education was simple. If you get her pregnant, you are marrying her. We are not terminating anything in this family.
Stop.
Right? That's the rule. That's the law that was there. So
3 women.
you are marrying everybody. That's the law in the house. So you knew that. So you could actually bring a lady to the house. My dad will welcome her, and my mom will welcome her and sit down and have a seat. They don't mind.
At the back of your mind, that's ringing.
Yeah, it's ringing in your head
I'm
because
glad you were sent to China.
Yeah, because I'm right. Someone, my kids start keep saying that. She's glad they got rid of me. I'm troublesome because it got to a point. Even if you're standing by the roadside and my dad is driving by, he actually parks and says hi to a lady. Says that, oh, Christian's
Future
friend.
in-law.
Why don't you come inside? You get it? So it made us comfortable bringing. If when I had my first heartbreak, I was able to tell my mom and my dad. And my mom laughed at me. Like she laughed at me. My
As
dad
she
was
should.
all over the place. She laughed at me. She was like, "Oh, it go reach everybody." And she told me that yes, it's hard and blah blah. You learn from it, but some of these things they help you pick up. you grow from it. And it was good having that support system. So there was a period, a funny thing happened in the house, that our dog left the house and got pregnant and came back, and my dad was pissed. My dad was like, the dog is pregnant, like we have so many dogs, like he's figuring like, how do we, and my mom was standing at the porch and she's just looking at the whole scene where my kids started sitting there, and my mom tells my kids that, Elsie, you see where your dad is pissed about the dog.
The dog,
just imagine you coming here with this.
Crucify you.
You leave. Yeah, so this is one of the things. It's just, we are joking about this, but if you have somebody you can talk to, right, where the person probably supports you with this finance that we are talking about to help you, because you ladies too, I don't know, but I always keep advocating the whole thing about condoms. Where did it come from? That raw is better. I didn't know where it came from.
Raw is war.
Raw is war.
That's what they say.
If you flip the RAW, it's
Who says
war.
that?
WAR.
Who says that?
Raw is war.
Yeah.
Oh, but where are you coming from? We know say we the streets.
You did streets.
We did streets.
As a married man, what you they do for
We did
streets?
streets.
What you they do for streets? Married man. It be street.
Louder.
Married man.
Louder. Raw is what? They say what? Raw is what?
So I think too is that the family planning thing hasn't caught on in Ghana here. Family planning hasn't really caught on. We keep advocating, we keep pushing, but people are not really coming for it. Because I feel if you have had an abortion for the first one and you are still sexually active, nobody's going to stop you. I'm not going to follow you with a cane. Your mother can't chase you everywhere and say, don't do it. You are an adult, you know what you are doing. The first one gave you consequences and you dealt with it. By God's will, you are fine. I feel the next step for you to do, if you know you can't stop it, just get family planning.
And married women should stop having sex.
What?
And married women should stop having sex.
Say louder.
And married women should stop having sex.
Married men should stop
married
knowing
women
that
should-
raw is war. How did you
What
know?
business
How
does-
did you know? Because
how
it's not your
did-
wife who
I
say
just
that.
want to find out how
Married men.
You should join in this conversation.
Are they on call?
Because she knows too much about intimacy.
How? Where?
Well,
married
we
women
advocate
should have
abstinence,
sex.
right? We
Married
advocate-
men should stop
abstinence.
knowing
Have the
street
capacity
terms.
to take care of this. And married women should stop having
So
sex.
well, if it's not on, it's not. What was that?
If it's not on, it's not even in thoughts.
It's definitely
So
not
don't think about it. So
Okay,
in that context, we are talking about like protection. To prevent all this abortion and lead to this. The first we're talking about abortion, but teenage pregnancy. You see, I feel we should stop educating the young people about these things. If you do have sex, this is what's going to happen. This is the risk that is involved. Give them the tools for them
and
to make the
then
decision.
Also, I think parents should stop telling the youngins that if you start menstruating and you hold a man's hand, you
If
can
he
get
touches you,
pregnant,
yeah.
or if he touches you. Like, the truth needs to be told, right?
I think we've
some
gone past
people-
that, right? We've
some
gone
people
past that
are
stories,
very-
right?
No, but some people
No,
are
I mean,
very
we've got-
experimental.
we've gone past
No,
that
I'm
story.
sure it's still there.
No, I'm saying that the generation has gone past that story.
Well, the
doesn't
generation,
work.
yes, but some people are very experimental to the extent that if you say to them that if a man touches you, you get pregnant,
You're going to
they
try
will
it.
go. Like, I'll do, don't do. Those people,
Yeah.
they would rather go and then, try it for the man to touch them and see. If it doesn't work,
I'll do,
next
don't
time
do was already
it will
going to
be
do it.
it will be progressive. He was already going to do it.
already going to do it.
But also, doc and midwife, how many times is it okay to have a safe abortion? How many times?
What do you need this information
Don't
for?
give people
I'm just
encouragement.
asking.
On behalf of...
Yeah, we
No,
don't
I'm
encourage
asking because you hear
It's
people
okay, I beg you, please answer the question.
on behalf of the people who want to know and cannot ask.
Yes.
Because you hear some people sometimes say that, oh, I've had an abortion 10 times. I've had an abortion maybe 7 times or more than 5 times, and that's really scary for me.
It's scary. Okay, so I can't say any number here because someone might have only one abortion and might not be able to have any child again. So someone might have 2. So you don't say your friend has done 2 or 3 and is still getting pregnant. So
You go and do.
Everyone is unique. How our hormones behave in our body is so different. Everyone. So you don't.
Even the thickness of your womb.
Yes,
is different
everyone
for
is
everybody.
so
Sample's
unique.
womb
So
is
I
lighter.
can't say 5 times,
Okay, no,
4
sorry.
times. So that is the answer to the question.
But-
just know yourself.
Okay.
And make sure that, for me, the conclusion is get pregnant when you're ready to get pregnant.
Right.
Plan your pregnancies. Planning is everything. People don't know their safe periods. People don't know what to like. I
Genotype,
was talking to
phenotype.
a lady 2 days ago. She said initially she thought she had white. she's been treating white, buying medication. So I asked her, how did you get to know you have white? She said there's this discharge that's been coming. I said, how is the discharge like? Not knowing that's her ovulation period.
Yeah.
She's been seeing the slimy discharge, so she felt it's white. And I told her, no, that's your ovulation period. And she says, every month it happens. I said, yes, that's your... So we need to enlighten the people so that they get to know all of this.
You have no idea. There's a whole department for women. Do you understand how complicated this is? You know the department for men in hospitals? The department is so small. Urology is small. If you talk about women, maternity is theirs. Obs and gyne, obstetrics is theirs. Gynecology is theirs. Child health is theirs. Pediatrics is all theirs. If men are on, if you don't have prostate, I'm not trying to say that you guys are so complicated and so advanced that everything concerning you is not the same with each person. You can date one person, go to the next, but it's different.
Okay, let's talk
about.
Women need
to learn about their sexuality, like the way they invest in learning about makeup.
Hey.
I was quiet. I
people, I told you that.
The table is broken. I just seen this and think it's a table.
Our chairman's money will bring you one.
But no, it's actually really
let me.
After Cyril's parents got married and decided to have Cyril, I said that day, maybe like that was the day that maybe like somebody should have called and altered the plans.
Say, has he come?
Then like by now, imagine.
No, it's true. It's true. So guys, join me. Let me show you how to do a contour on it. No. Tell us about family planning, sister.
I agree.
Let's do that. Women, I'm putting it out there because
women talk.
Yes,
there's a woman
talk.
What
women should talk about important things that affect them. And if at this point that we are doing AI and we are looking for aliens, you are drinking glass, thinking it's going to your womb. Sabe, you know. And if you see this person who drank glass, they probably don't look as dull as they are acting. So let's balance it out.
And also advice to the guys doing this, those advising women on what to take.
Yes.
People advise,
as
even female friends, as a guy.
The ghetto doctors.
The ghetto doctors. And even their partners who are doing this. And the female friends who have done certain things and then use yourself as examples and be advising people on this. Please stop.
Please stop.
Because when the consequences happen, none of you is there. None of you walk away as if you don't know anything about it.
Let me put the hard questions to you. I just want to be as realistic as possible because we have people who want to ask those realistic questions, but they may not get a chance to do so.
Right.
So pharmacies sell, or some pharmacists or pharmacists sell or make available certain drugs to people for termination. From hearsays, which is very evident, they say take 2, swallow 1, instead 4, and all those things. What are the conversations around those things? How true, how false, how dangerous, how bad, how around it? Yes, accessible and all that. To these, we know and we've heard of, I won't sit here and act like we don't know. We've heard of cytotech also being sold to people at pharmacies. So we want to understand this conversation.
So this conversation is based on regulation.
Yes.
This conversation is basically regulating some of these things, some of this off-the-counter medication, because that drug is not off-the-counter. It's supposed to be written prescription before you can get it, access it.
What is the purpose of that drug?
That drug, I can't sit here and tell because some people take my information and use it. In clinical terms, it was designed for a certain purpose.
Okay.
For us to be used in a safe. See how we use it. We actually.
But then, so why is it being sold at the pharmacy then? If it's not something
that's under the table business.
But it's also being sold at the pharmacy for the legitimate use by the people who need it. So
what is that legitimate use? I know you can't speak.
Cytotech.
Yeah.
Or the other ones.
Yeah, the cytotech.
Everyone has a different use.
Every one of them has a different use. Metabon, cytotech, misoprostol, they're all different.
Okay, yeah.
They're all different what they use. Even some of them, they are so dangerous that when we want to use for a certain procedure, we actually divide into 4.
Yes.
We divide into 4. The tablet, not the strip. The tablet. We divide into 4 and use one part.
Wow.
That's how serious this is.
That's how I want. I know it is hard to say what those purposes are for. We know we can't, but in general terms, those names you've mentioned are the prescribed drugs used under correct medical supervision, if I can say that.
And the right facilities.
And the right facilities for certain purposes as such. But it is not supposed to be used under the prescription of, an individual, a pharmacist, who says go, because I've heard so many of them that will tell you that they say set 3, use 4, swallow 1, and all those things. And you hear all kinds of stories around it from people.
That's what I'm saying. That all these things is regulation. Unfortunately, in this country, regulation, they are still working on it. It's a struggle. It's a day in, like, when it comes to regulation of medications, foods, and things in this country, it's been a challenge. Because as hopefully somebody will come up with a system where all this is regulated and done properly. Because even outside the country, they have issues with it. In US and other European countries, they're also dealing with some of these problems. Drugs that are sold behind doors and in dark alleys and all that. It's a whole. But I feel that we being educated, we using this platform to educate people, we tell you that why don't you get it from somebody who has been trained to do it? Why don't you put that responsibility in somebody's hands instead of you taking that risk? Because when it happens, at least in a facility and all these things, there are measures in place. All the outcomes, we have them in place. We are monitoring. We don't sleep on this. We don't just do it and go and sleep. We are on you. Because we know what's about to happen. At this point, at this hour, at this minute, this is supposed to happen. If it's not happening, what do? We augment, we change, we do this. But
can a medical facility decide not on grounds of the person's health, but decide not to? So, example, let me use one of the popular hospitals. I've walked into Kolebu, I've walked into 37 Literate Hospital, I've walked into a region, and I say I want to terminate a pregnancy. Here's my partner, we're not married though, but we are here to terminate it. Is it something that these facilities just say, okay, fine, go and take a file and fill your name and all those things?
Yeah. They'll walk you through it. Nobody's going to kick you out. No health facility that's recognized for doing that will kick you out.
What are the legalities around this, in case you are aware of it? Is it a legal thing to be done?
We have to bring a lawyer in, a reproductive health lawyer, somebody to come explain this thing. Because the law concerning abortion is somebody needs to explain this. Because there's no law that says it's legal.
Yeah.
Like you can do abortion like legal. There's no umbrella where that says it's legal to do this. But there are parameters in which you to it, like what she explained, facility,
in your line of duty day in day out, midwifery, would you say, out of, let's say, 10 women, for the sample size, how many pregnant women, sample size 10, would you say would come to you in conversations of termination? All 10?
No. No.
You're the antenatal. That's when you want to.
No. So mostly maybe because of what I do, like the midwifery thing, people reach out privately. They can't come like in person. They can't come in person to come and tell me, midwife, this is it. But people reach out privately via phone calls. But out of 10 people, I rarely get people like that have intentions of terminating. Maybe they've terminated already. They're having a certain consequence. That's when they reach out. But if I'm bleeding too much, I'm seeing clots, then when you probe further before you get to know that this person was engaged in an abortion or something.
Wow.
So
there is a lot to talk about, but no time will not be on our side with this. But and also with regards to teenage, pregnancy, and I really want us to have walked ourselves through that, conversations around the women and safe periods and all that. How does a woman determine when she's safe, when she's not safe? Are there any symptoms, signs? Not to promote you to go and look for yourself, so that you go and do it out of it, but then just to protect those who are probably heavily engaged in sex. I don't know if you get.
Let me give you a window, right? Okay. Sperm stays in the vagina for about 4 days, right? Right.
4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
So if you use the safe period, if you use your safe period and you get it wrong, right, you can get pregnant.
Yes.
It's not a given. The safe period timeline is not a given that it works. It's not a given. It was us using it to know when your ovulation is starting and all that. It was a calculation. But people mistook it and started thinking that, okay, I can do this in that period. It might work for somebody who like maybe has a standard period, like 28 days cycle and all that. Yeah. There's a fixed, those who have some is haphazard. Yours, you don't know yours. And you want to play this game? People are playing chess. You are playing checkers. You get it wrong. And most of the time, those who get pregnant, it's because of that.
Yes.
It's all that safe period trick.
Okay, we have it about. Okay, sorry, please go on.
So what happens is that, like doctor was saying, in as much as the sperms would stay in the vagina for about 3 to 4 days, the egg, when it's released, is potent for only 24 hours. Like the egg, when the woman releases an egg from the ovaries.
That's during the ovulation period.
It's potent for only 24 hours. You don't know when the egg will be released.
There's no clock.
You don't know when it will be released. But that's why we have the ovulation period before we have the ovulation day. So you might not know the day, but you know the period. So if you take chances,
so that's why they say that for those who intend to get pregnant, who intend to get pregnant, they tell you to be sexually active.
Oh, the definition for that is constant sex.
Regular
unprotected sex for a year.
Dog.
For a year.
Yeah, to describe fertility.
Before we can say it.
You can say you are infertile.
Now that to the married women who don't understand why their husbands want to harm
regular
and protected.
Some of us should go for
a year.
For a year.
Go for Olympics.
This is constant intimacy for a year. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Regular and
unprotected sex for a year.
For those who are married and want a child.
This will bring us to a continuation of our conversation on for those who want to get pregnant. Yes, so I would love for us to take that on next week. For us to look at, if possible. I know you're checking your time together, but we'll make it happen. Let's look at for those who want to get pregnant and what to do. Yes.
I mean, well, we've had
you want to get pregnant?
No. We've had the condom, bit of our convo, but assuming people want to have unprotected sex and all this sexual promiscuity that's in town these days, what are the options to keep people away from pregnancy if they are not willing to take the most common one, which is the
let's put this. I'll do this quickly. So we have methods. So we have the barrier methods, the medications, and all these things. The first one you should know this when we are talking about this conversation is simple. Condom is one of the only protections that prevents you from two things: pregnancy and diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. It's the only one that does the two. The rest, if you're on family planning or all these medications or the IUDs and all these things, they prevent pregnancy, not sexually transmitted diseases.
Maybe I think
you can still be on IUDs and family planning, and then you still need to use a condom.
Very good.
Yes.
But you see,
yes.
My point is
right.
Yeah.
My point is people are more scared of unwanted babies than they are of chlamydia.
Or syphilis.
Your mic, sorry, couldn't hear.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Doctor and me. Sorry.
People are more afraid of pregnancies than sexually transmitted diseases. But the prevalence of sexually transmitted is higher than pregnancies.
Yes.
And we have pregnancies that come with sexually transmitted diseases.
Okay. Sorry, let's just stop the sex.
So condom use, would you put condom use over the use of any family planning method if
I'll put abstinence over any family planning
Yes,
method.
abstinence.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, please. I know it's getting very interesting, but let me leave you. Let's hold it right here because we have a lot. Yes, I said to us.
Round
yes,
two.
we need to talk about now for those who want to get pregnant, both men and women. What must be done? What you need to do? What habits. And practices and all those things, and then understand the fertilization process as well. Very important for those who have intentions of wanting. The young people who feel like they are settled and they are ready and they want to do this as well. It'll be great. So thank you so much, Midwife Joe and Dr. Chris. Very interesting. See how Lenny and Sio are getting very active in the conversations at the tail end of the show. That tells you about Lenny's
they should put their questions there for next week. Those who are those they should put their questions there for next week. So I will
yes. So we can discuss it. Thank you so very much as well for joining us here this morning. We're back here again tomorrow in a different conversation here at the Big Convo on Culture Daily. However, next week we promise you a part 2 to this conversation if we can get Midwife Ajo in, as she's already promised. Thank you very much. And we out.
Culture Daily was brought to you